The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. 28th of Jan. It's a really cold day in Toronto. We're still getting a lot of that cold wave over here. As I mentioned in the chat, it's minus 18. So for everybody that's in a nice warm temperature, enjoy it. We're definitely missing it over here. Great. Yet another edition of the LaunchPad edition. We got some good information pieces ready to share with you. And I'm once again joined by my colleague Armando. He's got an exciting case study for us today that he's going to be showcasing about one of our clients. So that's pretty exciting, some pretty good results for that client. And Armando is definitely going to be talking about that today in the LaunchPad edition. Armando?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Excited to be speaking with everyone and look forward to talking about the exciting case study that we have. Yes, definitely cold up here in Canada, minus 18, so let's get warm up. Let's get going.
Totally. All right. Again, the same format. We'll start off with our latest news and articles, take you through all that's been happening in the past 5 days as far as internet marketing is concerned and the important news items that you should be aware of, followed up with a case study. And then we have one of the oldest tools in internet marketing. I'm sure everybody should be aware of this, but I'm going to show you a couple of exciting things that you can actually do with this tool that you perhaps were not aware of, and the potential power of this tool. So it's gotten better over the years. So we'll be sharing this tool with you in our Tool of the Week review, and then of course we'll be taking questions at the end of the webinar. Great. So starting off with the information for the week. The first information piece, and there's been a lot of discussion about this in the SEO circles, is Google adding a knowledge graph pop-up to the search results. And some of you might have experienced this where if you type in a search, and it's coming in very randomly right now. They haven't introduced this all across the board. So it's coming in off and on. Like I got a knowledge graph pop-up in the morning when I was doing some searches, but then I wanted to actually pull up some results for the webinar, and I was trying to get the knowledge graph to pop up for me. It wasn't. So it's being displayed intermittently by Google at this stage. But what they've basically done is that they want to try and enhance the user search experience. So what they've basically done is that if you do a search, then you'll start seeing these additional links that are coming in front of your website. Whether it's Wikipedia. In this case, I guess the search was all about the new U2 song that's going to be unveiled during Super Bowl. Super Bowl is next week, Sunday. Actually, this week, coming up on Sunday. A lot of buzz about that. So as you can see, there's the Wikipedia pop-up that's there. There's the Toronto Sun pop-up. Then there's a Canoe pop-up. And if you click on it, what it does is that it basically opens up and gives you more information about that particular website. So you have, in this case, canoe.ca, and if you actually click on that drop box and that drop-down arrow over there, then you'd actually start seeing more information about that particular website. So that's kind of like what the knowledge graph is. A bit of a controversy about this, because in certain instances what Google's doing is that it's not showing you a pop-up associated with your website, it's actually showing you a pop-up associated with the topic that you're discussing. So let's say if you're talking about, I don't know, Da Vinci or Mona Lisa or whatever you're talking about, then in front of your website it's actually going to show another pop-up instead of yours. So it'll probably have a Wikipedia pop-up, or it'll probably have Da Vinci's official website pop-up, something else, as opposed to your own website. So there's a bit of a controversy because, again, the people are saying, hey, we don't want traffic to go to somewhere else. We want traffic to stay onto our website. So why is this pop-up being displayed right next to a website that has a probability of taking traffic away from us? So that's a controversy right now. They haven't rolled it out 100%. Let's see if I can actually get a knowledge graph showing up for me. Let's say we're going to Google right now. Let's just type in a random query. Let's say SEO. Let's see if the knowledge graph is coming up. No, it isn't. So when I done a search earlier, if you can see my screen, what I was getting was that I was getting an extra pop-up over here. So I was getting Wikipedia right in front of search engine optimization in Wikipedia. I was getting a Moz pop-up in front of the Moz.com. So I was getting a Moz pop-up over here, right here. So I'm not getting it right now. but that's basically what Google's done. They've added this knowledge graph pop-up, and according to them, they've done it because they want to enhance the user's experience. They want to serve more relevant results, give the user a choice when it comes to the information being presented. But again, a huge controversy, because not all the time, you're not having your own websites come up all the time. You'll probably have your website and then a Wikipedia link come right in front of your website, which has the potential to take traffic away from your website. So a lot of controversy on this. So let's see how this one goes down and how Google really adopts this across the board. So that's the first information piece. And then Matt Cutts has something very interesting to say about a question that was recently asked by one of the visitors to his blog. So the visitor said, look, there's a lot of controversy about social signals in Google's ranking algorithms. So I want to ask you, do you actually use Twitter or Facebook social signals to rank pages in Google? So this user was curious, like a lot of us, that if I have a strong profile in Twitter, if I have a strong profile in Facebook, I have a lot of fan following, I have a lot of likes, I have a lot of followers, are these social signals utilized from Twitter and Facebook to rank my pages organically in Google? So Matt Cutts addressed this. He took out a video yesterday, and he was basically addressing this question, and he basically said that the short answer to that question is no. He said that Google does not give any special treatment to Facebook or Twitter pages. They are in fact just being currently treated like any other page, according to Matt Cutts. And he does say that Matt answered, if Google does special crawling or indexing with these, such as indexing the number of likes or tweets a specific page has, and again, Matt said that they do not do that right now. So the second part of the question was, do you do any special crawling so as to take into account all the likes or the tweets a specific page has? Do you do any special indexing or any special crawling in your search engine for that so as to account for that? And Matt basically said no. That's not happening right now. Facebook and Twitter social signals are not being utilized in Google's rankings. However, that being said, there's been a lot of discussion on a direct correlation with Google Plus and your Google rankings. So if you're doing well on Google Plus and you have a good strong base in Google Plus and you have a good following in Google Plus, barring the fact that you get the blended search results where you're seeing your Google Plus likes or +1, sorry, appear in your search results, you are obviously benefiting with higher organic rankings as well. There's definitely been a direct correlation to that. So Google Plus definitely influencing rankings on Google. Twitter and Facebook, not at all, according to Matt Cutts. So just when we are planning out, if we are planning out our social media strategy when it comes to Twitter and Facebook and doing that for Google's organic ranks, not that useful. But the social media component, the social media strategy in itself for Twitter and Facebook, of course. I mean, that's definitely a valid strategy to incorporate for a client. The other news item was a study done by this company called Conductor, and Conductor actually has a really powerful CRM solution for higher-end SEO clients. If you have higher-end SEO clients that you want to manage, a Conductor is kind of like a QuickBase. It's kind of like an Oracle solution for the SEO industry, where it allows you to it's a very powerful CRM system that gives you a lot of functionality and a lot of features in order to manage your clients and do a lot of the work using their system. So Conductor recently did a study on looking at the search results and what kind of queries were coming up in the search results. What they basically found was that 34% of the search results have rich media elements in them, which essentially means that of all the searches that they conducted, now bear in mind that their searches might have been biased because rich media only appears in certain kind of searches. So their results might have been a little biased, but what they basically found out was that 34% of the search results in Google have rich media elements associated with it. And rich media consists of elements like images, Google shopping results, which we'll be talking about in a bit, news elements, images, videos, etc. These are all rich elements. And what this basically tells us, the moral of the story is that we cannot ignore rich media playing a part and a bigger part as far as the search results are concerned. So we should definitely do our bit in terms of maximizing these rich media elements that we have in our client's website. So if our client's website is a very image-driven website, has a lot of images, then we should make sure that we are optimizing the images properly. And there's image optimization best practices that we've discussed in our previous LaunchPad webinars. Make sure that the image is saved correctly in the root directory. It's saved with the appropriate keyword tag. There's an alt tag associated with the image. So there's a whole bunch of different best practices for images that we discussed, and ensure that that's being done for your client. If your client has a very sort of like a rich element oriented website. Same thing with videos. We're seeing a lot of traction happening with videos, not just towards video marketing in YouTube, but also appearing in the natural listings for Google. So if your client has a video or has a series of videos, ensure that they're optimized properly, because Google is again paying a lot of attention to showcasing videos in their search display whenever you're doing searches. So make sure that the videos are tagged appropriately. Make sure that they have the appropriate optimization that is associated with the videos, so as to have the best chances of them appearing in the top 10 in Google. So this was an interesting piece of observation from Conductor, where they said that 34% of search results, when you actually type in searches, have images or news or shopping results associated with them. Something to keep in mind. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, which is something really interesting, is product listing ads. So SwellPath, a company, posted a very interesting article. They do a lot of PPC. So they posted a really interesting article that I'm going to bring about right now about product listing ads. Now, for the ones that are not aware of what product listing ads are, these are ads, they're sponsored ads. They're part of your PPC advertising in Google. And these sponsored ads come up between your PPC. So as you can see over here, somebody's typed in a horse mask, right? Interesting query. But so you have your PPC result that's coming up. So Amazon's coming up right here. And then you have your natural listings at the bottom. However, between the PPC and the natural listings, you have the shopping results that are coming up. And these are called product listing ads, where you basically see the product, you see an image of the product, then you see the name of the product, and you also see the price associated with the product and what website is this being displayed on. So in this instance of product listing ads, I mean, eBay is just killing it over here. They got like 4 listings in these product listing ads, and then you got this website ThinkGeek that has their horse head mask being displayed over here. But this is essentially what product listing ads are. Now, this article over here, the product listing ads, goes on to talk about the power of product listing ads and how they're getting more and more important. So if you have a client that is doing any sort of like e-commerce, is an online retailer, then product listing ads as a part of their PPC campaign should definitely be incorporated, because they are getting a huge amount of click-through rate. As a matter of fact, this company, SwellPath, goes on to talk about some statistics. So they found that product listing ad impressions grew 355% more than text. They grew 180% more than text clicks, and then PLA spends grew a whopping 430% more than traditional text ads, which essentially means that everybody is starting to realize the importance of product listing ads and are diverting more and more funds towards it. In terms of their return on investment, product listing ads increased revenue 269% across the board when they did their analysis in their study right here. So a very, very exciting feature, and not very heavily understood by a lot of the internet marketers in terms of how to do it, what the power of product listing ads is. But if you do have an e-commerce client, then this is definitely recommended. The product listing ads are definitely recommended to run for them. This post also talks about how to set up your product listing ads for your clients. And not the easiest of things to do. It's a little complicated, because what you need to do is that you need to have something called a Google Merchant Center account first. And I'm just kind of clicking on it to show you what this looks like. So the first thing that you need to have is that you need to have a Google Merchant Center account. So I'm actually logged into one of our clients, and this is kind of like how your merchant center account is going to be looking like. And then here's where you have to configure your data feed. You have to put in all your products. So for example, they have 49 or 54 products that have been inserted over here. So you have to kind of upload your product feed. You can look at your products. You click on the products tab over here. It's just loading up here. So you can look at all the products that have been uploaded in your Google Merchant Center. You can test them out, make changes, etc., etc. Once you have all of your products uploaded over here, then what you have to do is to then link this with your AdWords account, and then in your AdWords account you create a product listing ads campaign. And again, there's detailed instructions on these different links. If we just pull them up. So the first one is the Google Merchant Center. So this is a great guide for the Google Merchant Center. If you want to familiarize yourself with what Google Shopping and the Google Merchant Center are and what product listing ads are, this is the official Google help guide that is very beneficial. So you can actually learn more about this topic. And then in order to set up your campaigns, you have your information right here. Set up your regular product listing ads, and they give you full information on how to basically set up your product ads. But this is a huge opportunity. It's not discussed a lot. It's not talked about a lot. But this is coming out to being a really, really powerful source for conversions and getting more traction for your campaigns. Great. So another interesting case study was done by 1-800-Flowers, and again, I mean, this would seem more like common sense, but there's now data to back this up, where click-to-call is getting to be one of the most used features on a mobile search engine results page. So if your site is a mobile-friendly site and you don't have a click-to-call, I suggest that you get it right away. So 1-800-Flowers did a study, and there was 4 key findings that they basically got out of this study. The first finding was that click-to-call is one of the most used features on a mobile search results page. So 70% of mobile searches have used click-to-call to connect with a business directly from a search engine results page. That's the power of click-to-call. So with the increase of searches that are taking place on mobile devices and smartphones, click-to-calls becoming a very, very important feature, where you just click, connects you to that business, and you start speaking with that particular business. Especially for a lot of the spur of the moment, on the spot kind of searches that are taking place. And one example that comes to my mind is trying to look for a cab, or a taxi. You just you search for it, and then you just do a click to call, connects you with the operator right away. You tell him where you are, and you get a cab. So that was one key finding. The other key finding was the fact that the calls are definitely valuable. 61% of mobile searches state that click-to-call is the most important in the purchase phase of a shopping process. So what 1-800-Flowers also saw was that the calls that were coming out from the click-to-call feature were calls that were very conversion-oriented, were clients that were very interested in purchasing their product. So it was a very important, the whole conversion aspect as far as click-to-call was very, very engaging. So these are important customers that are trying to get a hold of you, especially with using the click-to-call feature. So special attention should be paid to them because they're potential buyers of your service. The ability to call is important to maintain a strong brand image. Again, based on the study, 47% of the mobile searches said that if a business does not have a phone number associated with their search results, they are more likely to explore other brands. Again, it's all about having information in your fingertips and giving the user the power to connect with you when they want to connect with you. Click-to-call is also a really important tool in mobile search ad campaigns. And the observation was that if you actually add a phone number to your mobile search ad, it results in an average click-through rate increase of 8%. And for the ones that are doing PPC, 8% is, can be a pretty significant number when you're looking at your conversions across the board when it comes to your PPC campaigns. And in order to further substantiate these findings, 1-800-Flowers recently incorporated tracking their click-to-call conversions in their AdWords account, and they basically right away showed a 10% lift in overall AdWords revenue that was coming from click-to-call. They weren't tracking it properly before, so they put in some specific tracking for click-to-call conversions in place, and they noticed a 10% lift in overall AdWords revenue that was coming in from this particular feature. So the key takeaways are definitely incorporate a click-to-call feature on your regular websites. Push your clients towards responsive websites, very important, so that they with the the different myriad of different devices that are out there, you just never know in what sort of a device or a screen size your website's going to be opened up, and you want to make sure that you have a responsive website so that whatever the device feature is or the device size is, your site, your client site is rendering properly in any device across the board. So it's very important to push them towards responsive, and when you do have a responsive website, make sure that the call the phone number call to action is positioned in a click to call manner, so that they can click to call at any point in time as far as your client's website is concerned, and they can utilize that feature. And then the third key takeaway is that if you do have an AdWords campaign that is running, ensure that you're tracking your click to call stats separately, and ensure that you do have click to call and a phone number in all of your mobile ads that you've set up for your PPC campaign. So 3 key takeaways that we should definitely pay attention to when it comes to this whole click-to-call feature. Great. So the other news item that I wanted to highlight was, this company, Point Blank SEO, a great company, and we've been following them for a pretty long time. And they basically have come up with the best link building post ever. And they recently did a follow-up on it, and they called it the second most creative link building post ever, which is kind of interesting. But basically, I wanted to show you this. So this is the post that they recently put up there, Point Blank SEO, and this post consists of all the different link building strategies that different marketers and different companies have incorporated, and Point Blank SEO incorporated all of these stories, so to speak, and then put them up together over here. And the one that I really enjoy reading is Eric's case study, and Eric's no stranger to the world of internet marketing. He runs his consulting company called Stone Temple Consulting, a very well recognized personality in the search engine circles. And so he has a really interesting story on how he obtained 5 original follow links from PR7 pages on a USA.gov site. A site with a PR10 homepage. And there's only like a handful of sites that have a PR10. USA.gov is one of them that has a PR10. And how he basically got links for his website, his business, from a USA.gov site, and then of course he goes on to say that he sold the business. Once he had successfully gotten the links. About 1 month after I made that suggestion, we got the links. Our site receiving the links soared, and we sold that business in 2010. So a very interesting read. I'm not going to go into detail on how he did it, but do definitely spend some time on this post if you have a little bit of time. There's some really interesting ideas that you can potentially be doing, whether it's content discussions, topics on how people have been creative and have been able to have very interesting ways of getting links from different high value, high profile websites. So since he mentioned this was the second most creative link building post, he did have an original post that was the most creative link building post ever, where he again showcases about 52 responses on how people have essentially been taking advantage of thinking outside the box and doing link building for their clients. Again, really good read. I wanted to show you something else that Point Blank SEO is really known for in the industry, and this made them really famous when they actually came out with this. This is a link building strategies list that Point Blank SEO came out with, which was just simply phenomenal. And the way that they've classified this list is in different ways. So the available time to execute, so how much time do you have to actually build your links? The link values, is it high or low? Dependency on other sources, like what do you need in order to build these links? And then what are your options for the selections that you made? And then it goes on to actually showcase all of the different ways and methods that you can actually build links. Phenomenal. This is like the best post ever as far as link building is concerned, which is what made Point Blank SEO really famous. And as a matter of fact, if it first got our attention when we looked at this post probably about a year and a half back, when John Cooper had put out this post. John Cooper is the owner of Point Blank SEO, and then it was so good that it actually got us to take the link building course that John Cooper provides, which is this course right here. So we actually subscribe to this course, and again, the information is fantastic, and there's always more information that he's adding onto this course. There's link building resources that he shared with us in this course that we are utilizing for the ICs in their campaigns. So the post that he put, the link building post, is what prompted us to actually take his link building course for our team, which is just fantastic. I mean, very negligible, $67 for the course, the best money we ever spent, because there's so much of good learning that we got and so many good link building techniques that we learned. It was fantastic. And the best part is that he actually even gives you actual link building opportunities. So we've added that in our database, and we are actively using that for our clients and the ICs, so as to utilize all these best practices that were a part of this link building course. So I thought I'd share this with you because if you're into link building, the whole link building aspect of SEO, then you might enjoy his newsletters. He pushes out newsletters, I think, on a very consistent basis. You can put in your email and subscribe to his link building tips that he sends out. But a great was specialized in link building. Great, a very resourceful blog. This particular one, Point Blank SEO. Great. I want to pass it on to Armando at this stage. He's got a really cool case study. It's a local SEO client of ours, and Armando's got this case study detailed out. So I'll pass it on to Armando to discuss this case study in detail.
Thank you, Anish. I just wanted to spend some time with you today to talk about G-Go Decorative. It's a small business in Denver, service in the Denver area. And one of the reasons we wanted to showcase this case study is because sometimes we get questions or requests from ICs or inquiries where they ask us, I have this small client, very minimal budget. And definitely, he wants to do some SEO, but I'm not sure if we can assist him because of pretty much his budget is very low. What do you recommend? And one of the things that we always advise our ICs at ALM is that when you are working with a new client, the key thing is to manage their expectations, work with them, and at the same time pretty much educate and guide them as much as possible. Definitely results are important. It's all about the results in our business. It's about performance. But at the end of the day, you have to have an upfront contract with your client in the beginning, making them understand that if you're if you have a small budget, you're going to get small budget results. Larger budget results. It's all equivalent, right? So with G-Go, he's a local business, one-man operation. I think he has 2 or 3 other people working with him, but it's a very small business that we started working with them last year. And he's in a pretty niche market. He focuses on mural painting, full finishing, decorative painting. And he came to us. We started working with him. Number one, a bit on his content writing of his website. Started very small with him, creating some content to optimize his website. We also looked at his current website and added some conversion optimization elements. Again, when you go to his website, you're not going to see the most beautiful, elegant website in the world, but it is a tool for him. It's his sales tool, his 24/7 salesperson, and that's what he needed. Okay, coming from a very creative background, he gave us a lot of feedback on everything from our content writing to our conversion optimization advice and tips to our marketing strategy. So we began working with them, and apart from what we launch or we deploy in our standard local plan, which is pretty much 1 PR piece a month, or either social book marketing or local link building. We also did some local citations with them. I know that we've spoken in the past in regards to the tools that we use to help our clients. And on top of that, the client did begin doing some additional social media components, specifically in Facebook and YouTube, and we've been able to assist them in optimizing some of his videos and hoping to get him some rankings. So again, he did. The client in this case took care of the social media. We advised them, we worked with them, but he was very proactive. Now he's not a very he's not always very active on social media like Facebook, but he tries to come up with videos and always asking us for advice on what keywords or what he should talk about in his videos. So it's very important that when you have a client that's going to be doing some videos, that you connect with them beforehand, to make sure that the content that's within the videos matches somehow the overall SEO strategy to help your organic ranking.
Sorry, I think we lost Armando there.
The previous month.
Oh, great, he's back.
Yeah.
Sorry, we lost you there, Armando.
Sorry.
Yep.
Where did you? How far did you lose me?
No, it's good now. Yeah, it was a very short.
Okay,
period of time.
perfect. Yeah. So, can you just switch the slide?
Yep.
Yeah. Excellent. So what I wanted to share with you, I don't know how much you missed of what I was saying, is that he's been doing his own social media. We've been working with them with YouTube, and one of the key things that you should, in speaking with your clients, if they're going to be doing video, is that he connects with you. His online video strategy matches the SEO strategy. So here are some examples of some of the results that we've been able to get with them in some of the keywords that he was very interested in. But more importantly, as you can see, some of the changes that we've been able to see since September and November of last year, where the percentage change in traffic has been very high, right? 85%, right? And now you may say, well, it's only 197 visitors, but to this type of a client, 197 visits, it's quality traffic for him, because we're going after keywords that pretty much are the type of keywords that he wants to focus on. His area of expertise is obviously not just mural painting, but also working for and with kids. So he does do residential work, and the traffic that he's been getting has been very good in terms of conversions. Okay, so here are some of the keywords that, again, small local package. We only targeted 2 areas, right? 2 geo targets, because we didn't want to dilute the effectiveness of the SEO strategy. But here is some examples that, even with a small package, if we work together with the client, you can target some keywords and get them some results. I mean, the organic traffic tells you right there the level of increases in traffic that came to his site. In addition, if you look at the graph at the bottom, which is the analytics main overview, you can actually see also that his traffic lifted. It lifted also the overall traffic. So organic did assist in lifting the overall traffic for the client. Okay. Specifically, when you look at unique visitors, it's a very important KPI that we like to track at ALM, and you can see that it had 100% increase. Now again, it has taken some time for this to kick off. It didn't happen right off the get-go. It took about 3 months for him to start seeing some results, for him to start believing. Part of the strategy with him is to spend time with him at the end of the month, kind of getting information from him, working, collaborating. He's not always responsive, but you know what? We've been able to develop a relationship with the owner of the business. So again, very quick case study that if you have small businesses in your area that are looking to leverage from an SEO strategy with a small budget, it can be done. Manish, anything else you want to add? I know that sometimes you have additional valuable comments.
No, I think I just love to talk, Armando, but I think you definitely summed it up. One of the stats that was really interesting for this client that we were discussing internally was the average visit duration. So if you look at the quality of traffic that's basically being sent to him, again, as Armando mentioned, he mentioned something very key, which was the volume of traffic might not be as high, but it's the quality of traffic that's being sent to him. I mean, this lift from 106 to 197, that's basically an extra 93 visits that we've sent over to him. Look at what it's done to his average visit duration. He's gone from 325 to 734. People that are coming to his site are spending on an average of 7 minutes 34 seconds on his website, looking at his different pages, looking at his work, and then potentially converting into clients for him. And again, the traffic is very geo-targeted to Denver and Littleton, so it's very, very focused traffic that's coming onto his website. So I think that was something pretty fantastic that we observed in this campaign, which was the average visit duration going up so dramatically high, which was really, really interesting. And then, all the metrics, I mean, positive except for the bounce rate that went up from 41 to 43%. That's a little expected when you're basically ramping up traffic and essentially doubling traffic. So that's kind of expected to an extent. But that's also the website. Got to work on the website to lower the bounce rates. But all in all, a pretty good campaign so far, and we continuously keep working with this client. Excellent. Great. Thanks, Armando. That was a great case study. So moving on, I wanted to showcase one of the most famous tools, and I'm pretty sure almost all the ICs are familiar with Alexa. And Alexa had a tool that they've actually bolstered and made even more powerful. It's called the Internet Archive Wayback Machine. And let me give you an example of this tool. I'm going to actually showcase you how this basically came to our rescue in a couple of weeks back. So for the ones that are not familiar, the Internet Archive Wayback Machine has 386 billion web pages that have been saved now, and you can basically access on how a page looked like in the past. So let's say if you want to see what somebody's page looked like in the past, you can actually type in that URL, you can browse the history, and then you can look at the different versions of that page that have been saved over the years and see how that page looked in the past. So let's say I want to look at let's look at Moz. So I'm curious about how Moz looked. So we just go to moz.com and then you browse our history. And then what it's going to do, it's actually going to pull up its index where it's been archiving Moz. Moz is a pretty big website, so it might take a little bit of time for it to pull the results. But yep, here they're coming up. There you go. So basically, it gives you up your information in terms of how this website has been indexed over the years, right? So as you can see, there's wherever you see these arrows, that's where the site has been indexed, right? So let's click on 2004, and I'm curious to see how Moz looked in 2004. So I can basically click on the 2004 graph, and then wherever you see these blue circles, that basically means that the site was actually indexed and archived, and there was a record kept of these site and all these different circle dates, right? So let's say I want to actually look at how this site looked on the 12th of February. So I click on that, and it's actually going to open up a little preview for me, right? And then now it's actually redirecting me to this page that has been indexed, which is the 12th of February 2004 at 2:25. That's when it crawled this website and actually archived this page in the Wayback Machine. And it takes a little bit of time because it's actually trying to pull that page up and access it, so it takes a little bit of time. And I guess the site's also a little big as far as loading up is concerned, so that's why it's taking a little bit of time to load up. But the bottom line is that if you want to look at any sort of like archive page for your client's website or any website for that matter, you just basically utilize the Wayback Machine, and it's actually going to pull an example for how your site looks. Let's look at a more recent example. This might be taking a little bit of time. It's probably going deep down in the library here, trying to access this page. Let's see if it pulls it up in a minute or so. If not, then we look at something else. Okay, there you go. So it's pulled something up. Let's see. Okay, well, that's not the site that we were looking for. It's pulled up search motor. So that's not the site that we wanted. So if we go back and let's look at another website. So this is one of our clients, nnpsa.com. So we browse their history. We see when their site was indexed. So you just put in the URL and browse the history, and it's actually going to show you when their site was indexed. So I actually wanted to showcase how we use this tool in a very recent situation. So what had happened was that this results come up here. Let's take a look. So Jan 1 2014 is when they took a snapshot, but let's go back to, let's say, 2011. We want to see how the site looked in 2011. So you can just click on 2011. It's going to bring up 2011's calendar, and we want to see, let's say, the 2nd of March. Click on that snapshot that we want to look at, and then it's going to bring about how nnpsa.com looked on the 2nd of March in 2011. It's going to pull that up in a second. I can see that it started pulling up this page here, which is great. So one of our clients, what had happened was that their hosting company did not take a backup of the website, and there were some pages that were missing when the site was launched, and the hosting company did not take a backup of the website. A big situation for the client. The client was freaking out, and they're like, holy, how do we get that information? And it was a big issue. So luckily what happened was that we looked at the Wayback Machine, and the pages had been saved in the Wayback Machine. Even the individual product pages had also been saved in the Wayback Machine. So we were able to pull all of the content and all the images from the Wayback Machine and then put that onto the live website. So that was a huge help, because the client technically thought that they lost all of their work. They lost their website. However, the Wayback Machine came in handy, and the site had almost entirely been indexed completely by the Wayback Machine, and we could access every single product page, take all of the information, all of the content, and then populate that onto our client's website. So that's kind of like how the Wayback Machine really helped us. So if you're ever in a soup like that, or if you want to do any sort of like competitive intelligence in your clients, if you want to try and look at what kind of changes they've done on their website over the years, this is a great tool. Just taking a little bit of time to load up. I'm not sure if it's my system or it's a little slow today, but usually it's pretty quick, and then you can actually look at all the pages. There you go. So finally opened up. So this is how the site looked in 2011 for this client. This is how it looks. So whenever you want to do any sort of like analysis or any sort of like feedback that you need. So this is how the site was looking on the 2nd of March 2011, and actually let me show you a live version of this site right now. So if you go to nnpsa.com right now, so I'm going to close this and we go to nnpsa.com. So that's how it was looking in the past, and then now the site's loading up, and this is how the site actually looks right now. As you can see, a huge big change on the website, right? So the Wayback Machine is a great tool to actually give you good insights when it comes to how sites were archived and how they looked in the past. Great. Excellent. So that was the tool of the week, and I'm going to pull up the questions now in a sec. Great. George has a question. Armando, will we be able to talk by phone later today on a prospect? I'm pretty sure. Armando, you got George's message right, so George is looking for you. Armando is not there. George, no worries. I'll be sure to pass on your message to him. Mark Patton had a question on how do I specify the content to show on the knowledge graph. Good question, Mark. And as of right now, they don't necessarily have an option so as to guide what kind of content can be displayed in the knowledge graph. It's something that they potentially can add in Webmaster Tools. as they've done with the other information, like the author information and the events listings and all, that there's special ways to inform Google of that. But as of right now, there's really no specific way to display the content. It's really Google populating that information. Google's budget mark, again, a good question. Very low. They actually started off with our local campaign, which was the $150 a month strategy. So not spending a lot of money, but again, we've chosen keywords very carefully. And the IC, I believe, has retailed it again standard ×3. So I think they sold the package for $550 a month. Our fees $150 a month for the local campaign. Allison had a campaign on. What do they pay a month for this local SEO package? Yep, Allison, as I mentioned, it's $150 a month that they're paying, and then the ICs marked it up ×3. So the ICs, I think, priced it about $450 or $500 a month for this particular client. Fernando has a question on for Armando. Armando, how many posts a month are you doing in YouTube and Facebook? As Armando mentioned, Fernando, we're not doing the social media. The client's actually handling the social media side themselves. They're not very active, but they're doing a little work, but very, very focused work on social media because they don't want to inundate their audience. So they're doing focused work as far as their social media is concerned, and they're managing it themselves. But if you do need more information, Fernando, please shoot us an email. Our email's right here. I'm going to pop that up, info@WSILM, or you can actually email Armando directly at armando@wsilm.com. Brian has a question. I can remember if you answered this before, but have you used WordStream, and if so, what are your thoughts on it? Brian, WordStream's a pretty cool software, and one of the things that we really love about WordStream that we'd actually reviewed in one of our LaunchPad webinars was their PPC AdWords grader tool. I think the grader tool is fantastic. They spent a lot of money in developing that, and it basically produces a complimentary, free sort of like a PPC audit. If you can say that, you just sync your AdWords account and then it produces this report for you. That's primarily what we use it for. I think for small businesses, WordStream's a really, really powerful software. But so is Acquisio. Now, Acquisio is pretty good as well. But again, I think from a pricing perspective, if you compare it, WordStream's a pretty powerful and a very popular software that's out there. So it's definitely pretty good. And we use it quite extensively for the PPC audit report that WordStream produces. Brian has another question. Can you retrieve site files with Wayback? We closed hosting for a client about 6 weeks ago, and now he changed his mind and he wants to get it back. That's a good question, Brian. I'm not sure if you can actually get physical site files, but what you can get is a preview of the website, and hopefully the entire website's been archived in the Wayback Machine, so you can actually look at the entire website, look at all of the pages, and they do have a subscription model as well. So I'm not sure if you actually sign up for the subscription model and then they potentially make site files available to you, although I doubt it, because that probably would mean a lot of storage for them. But I know for a fact that they do archive websites in their entirety, because we had the same situation with a client, and then we went into the back and then we accessed all of the pages through the Wayback Machine. Matej has information on our email address. Absolutely, it's actually being displayed right now, Matej. The email address is Armando, ARMANDO, Armando@WSILM.com, or our email address, which is info@WSILM.com. Brian just sent another message. I just found the site, so investigate. Great. All the best, Brian. If you do need any more help, please shoot us an email, and we can definitely troubleshoot this issue with you. Excellent. No other questions? Terrific. Thanks everyone for joining in another edition of our LaunchPad webinar edition, and we will see you next week, Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you.